All right, Eltoro, continuing now with our season previews, and we got a big one now. The 2026 Georgia Bulldogs. Um, I look at this Georgia team, Eltoro, and I see, depending on which list you look at, the first or second best coach in the game, one of the best coaching staffs in football, 14 returning starters, elite talent all over the field, one of the more experienced offensive lines and better offensive lines in the country. I think Drew Bobo's probably the best center in the SEC this year. They've got a lot of experience. Nate Frazier at running back. Their running game should be just tough as nails. Defense returns a lot of playmakers. So I look at this Georgia team, man, and I'm going, maybe this is you've got Gunnar Stockton coming back at quarterback with basically a year and a half now of starting experience. Maybe this is that team that gets Kirby back into the national championship game. He hadn't been there in a few years now.
You're exactly right, Jay. This is the team can definitely get them back in there and possibly win it. Georgia, man, you already know, Jay, they're going to be physical. They're going to be aggressive. And I'm telling you one thing they got going for them this year too, Jay. They got a favorable schedule. I think they got one of the most favorable routes to get to the championship game or to get to the playoff than any team in college football. So that's a plus, Jay. And I look forward to Georgia, being there. I mean, the ceiling for them is a championship, and the floor, I would say, semis. I mean, that's the minimum. That's the minimum.
I think you're right. I think they should be there. Now, like every other team in college football, Georgia's got their own set of questions. So let's talk about those a little bit. Gunnar Stockton is a terrific college quarterback. He is not, I don't think anyway, we'll find out, I guess, next spring. I don't think he's an NFL prospect type player. I think he's a really terrific college quarterback. He's accurate. He's tough as nails. He's a good leader. He wins games. He comes up big in big moments. But there are some limitations. And last year, I think David Pollock, former Georgia All-American, said it a few months ago. For them to do what they need to do with this team, Gunnar Stockton's got to get better throwing the ball down the field. Now, last year, you had Zachariah Branch, the leading receiver, who's more of a catch and run guy. He's kind of a, catch it short, turn it into a big play guy. And so they threw a lot of screens. They threw a lot of hitches. They threw a lot of, short stuff and let Zachariah do his thing. But this year, you've got Isaiah Canyon transferring in from Georgia Tech, and you've got C.J. Wiley, the sophomore, coming in, highly recruited, one of those top 50, top 100 type guys. Both of them are 6'4", 215 pounds. Both of them are big body downfield guys. And I think they've got to come up big. A receiver that can make a play on the ball, that can turn a 50-50 ball into a 70-30 ball, does a lot of favors for a quarterback who maybe is not as accurate downfield as you would like.
You're absolutely right. And Jay, I think they're going to do just that, alongside with the running game and also the defense, and that helps out Gunnar a lot. All the pieces around him, make up for what he may lack. You know what I mean? And to add the new receivers into the mix, I mean, it just goes right back to, man, I cannot see Georgia, if not in the national championship, making a huge run to be in the national championship. And I'm talking about, the semifinals.
Yeah, I think last year was a little bit of a bridge year for Georgia. They had a lot of young players last year, a little bit of one of those growing years where you're trying to figure it out. And now they did not rush the passer great last year.
That is a question mark.
Gabe Harris is expected this year to be the guy that's going to really lead that charge. They went out and got Amaris Williams from Auburn out of the transfer portal. He was also going to help on the edge. But then Amaris got hurt in the spring. He's not going to be able to play this year. So, can Gabe Harris step it up as a pass rusher and really be one of those top guys in the league? But here's what I think. This is the kind of team that Kirby Smart just damn loves. He loves this kind of team. He's got experience. He's got guys who've played a lot of football. He's got guys coming back on defense, guys coming back on the offensive line. He's got Nate Frazier at running back. I think Georgia, I think the plan going into this year is we're going to squeeze you to death. We're going to run the ball. We're going to play defense. We're going to take our points when we get them, and we're going to keep you off the scoreboard. We're just going to wrap around you and squeeze you to death. You know what I mean?
I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you, man. You know, they got some unfinished business as well now. You know, I don't think they like how their season ended last year. And then you got a guy like Donner, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to be the guy. I mean, he could be with all the pieces around him, and he can just manage the football game and don't make mistakes. Do not turn the ball over. I think they'd be in great shape, Jay. I think they'd be fine. I think they'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned the schedule too, and there are no SEC easy schedules, but this one is maybe the easiest one in the league. You know what I mean?
Without a question.
Yeah, the schedule's not brutal. Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, we know what that is. Third game they go to Arkansas. They get Oklahoma, but they get them at home. They get Vanderbilt at home. They go on the road to Alabama. Alabama's beaten them in the regular season the last 2 years. This should be a revenge game for Georgia, but it's not going to be easy in Tuscaloosa. They get Auburn, but they get them at Sanford Stadium. They got Florida, but that game's not even in Jacksonville for the next 2 years while the stadium is being renovated. They're going to play this one in Atlanta, which is pretty much a home game for Georgia. They go on the road to Ole Miss. That could be a little tricky. You get Missouri at home. They're at South Carolina in week, I guess that would be week 12. Maybe a little tricky late in the season. And then they finish with Georgia Tech. I'll say this. I think this team's either 11-1 or 12-0. I could live in a world where they go 10-2. If they drop one, maybe they shouldn't, because being on the road at Ole Miss and on the road at Alabama and on the road at South Carolina, those are three teams that are dangerous. And but it's hard for me to imagine this team winning less than 10 games.
Oh, without a question. They're a double-digit team. I mean, without question, Jay. Yeah.
Georgia Bulldogs, I'm telling you, I'm not making my prediction, at least not yet. But I'm telling you, this is the kind of team that Kirby Smart wins titles with.